Hello and welcome back to another Mahner Farms video. Today we're working on a chicken coop project for my sister. So basically what we've got so far, as you can see in front of us here, is an old destroyed, I believe it was a Mahner chopper box, but it was a long time ago, so it's hard for me to say. Me and my dad had parked this back at the edge of a field probably 17 years ago, always with the intention of doing something with it because it was on a good running gear and it was still structurally sound even though it wasn't good for a chopper box anymore. But then we never got around to it and just let it sit there and, you know, it kind of collapsed in on itself. So the plan here is basically just to strip it all the way down, get all of it taken apart, all the way down to just the stringers on the running gear, and then build a new deck on that and build a new chicken coop on top of that for my sister, so she's got a mobile chicken coop, you know, to move the chickens around as she sees fit. So basically all I'm doing today is starting to take it apart. I just realized, because I've been working on it for probably about an hour already, I figured I should actually probably record some of this because it'll probably be a pretty cool transition. So all I'm trying to do at the moment right now is just unbolt and pull the nails for the whole top section so I can get the roof taken off. Once I get that taken off, I can strip down the walls. My plan is any of the wood that's currently in there that's salvageable, I might use it for the chicken coop just because it'll save me a bit of money. But yeah, I figured I'd show you guys what we've got. So you can see the outside fairly well. Roof is collapsed in because the supports on the side rotted out, and so the bolts that go through that hold up the top part of the chopper box, or at least used to, are gone entirely. And you can see that the two front supports that should have been, or the three I should say, that should have been connected to those are all gone already, which is why the roof is collapsed in like that. But basically all I've been doing is going through and unbolting the sections on the top where it's connected through to any of the wood. My plan is once I get that all unbolted, run a chain through with the tractor, I'm thinking right now, with the loader, and just kind of see if I can pull that roof off. Because once I have that off, it's much easier to work on everything else. I can tear the walls down and then strip the floor and be down to just the stringers in probably no time at all. So that's what we're working on today. Well, got a slight update. Well, I was able to get the roof off. You may be able to tell how if you use your eyeballs. It took a little bit more pulling than I thought it would, but we got her off there. I mean, all it had to do was clear all the obstacles. It's lucky the wagon was parked downhill. That gave me a little bit more play each time I wanted to pull on it a little bit more, but I unbolted it all first, so it came off smoother than it could have. But that's where we're at now. And that'll do for today. So now all I have to do is go through all this wood on the burn pile. Look at that chair over there. We've got that stripped down as far as I plan to go. We'll see how those boards all feel. I'm going to check for structural integrity and rigidity all throughout. If they're halfway decent, I'll leave them on there. I might have to, you know, sister some more 2x6s on there just to give it some more strength as a floor, but that's where we wanted it. So I guess we'll pick it up next time we're doing something. And that'll be about enough for today. It is way too hot out here. I'm sweating buckets. So all we did was on the beams where we had a little bit weaker structure, it was still strong enough to stand on and everything. I was just worried about them being able to take a nail. We sistered along the entire length with a 2x6, treated for the most part. On the other ones, you can see at the end I used some scraps. That's because those beams are actually really solid all the way across, even all the way to the end. But I wanted to make sure that since I did it on so many of them, I just did it on those ones, so I would once again have a really good spot to sink new screws in. So if any of those ones were going to have a rotten spot, it was going to be on top. So now we are ready to build the floor. Another day down, and now we have the floor completed. So now we're ready to frame out the walls and put the door frame and the framing for the windows that are going to be installed in. So that'll be the next step. Well, we're going to be picking it up right where we left it off last time over the weekend, or I should say this Saturday, so it wasn't the whole weekend. We managed to frame out all 4 walls and get 2 of the top rafter studs that we wanted to put in place. We're going to be doing the roof with trusses, but that'll be probably tomorrow's job or maybe the next day, depending how long it takes me to do what I'm currently going to be doing, which is going to be putting on the 1-inch shiplap sheeting on the outside. So our exterior wall is going to be 1-inch thick shiplap planks. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So enjoy watching that. And there we go, all the walls are up. So now the next step is trusses. So I'm gonna go ahead and magically skip this part because, you know, why have the power to magically skip things if you never use it? And there we go, all 8 of our trusses ready to be roofed. And it did not take me many hours of labor in the sun, so that's always good. But now I guess next thing is gonna be putting them up. And that wraps up the trusses. So we've got those set 24 inches on center all the way across. There's 8 of them spanning the entire distance. And that's actually where we're going to be stopping today because we have some extreme weather is what they're calling it. I'm sure it'll just be some sort of a semi-mild thunderstorm, but that's where we're leaving it off. So we're actually going to have a couple days of not working on this. Should be about 3 days. So today's Friday, probably going to pick this up on Monday. All we got to do yet is put the planks on top of those trusses, get our roofing installed, and then it's all interior work, well, other than like sealing and painting the outside, but definitely moving right along. And there we have it. We've got the underlayment, which we used ice guard for this. We've got that all set on both sides, caps done. All we got to do now is get our steel roofing, which we're going to be applying onto here, cut to size, and then we'll be installing that. So that'll be our next step. Well, we've officially finished the roof. So now I'm just going to finish these end pieces. We've got this one on this end and then the other end where we need to just, put some wall on them so they're not just in the open air. So I don't want to record that because I'm running out of battery time. So we're just going to give it some magic snaps. And all done on this side. Let's do the other side. That was pretty quick. If anything, I'd say this time this side will be even easier. So let's check it out. And I was right, that one was pretty quick too. So now both of those ends are finished off. And I'd say the whole inside, other than, the parts in the walls that need to be sealed up, and of course the door that I haven't put on the frame yet, it's all good to go on the outside, so looking pretty dang good. Just a simple job for today. We're hopefully going to finally get this door put on. I went and picked up a door today. Got this very nice looking wood door, should be the right size, at least it was advertised as such, so we're going to go ahead and put that on this frame. And there we've got it mounted. Sorry I didn't record, but it was raining, and I just wanted to get this done because I got a lot of other stuff to do yet today. But after a little bit of alteration, getting it to fit, having to readjust things, we now have a door that opens and closes. So that is, I guess, that step for today. Next thing to do will be build some actual steps on here instead of these temporary ones we've been using. Just a little update on the project. You can see last time I showed you something, we had put that door in. Well, we've since then put on the stairs. So these are quite strong. They're supported mostly by these chains, but there's, some hinges and everything that keep them in place and allow them to be foldable. So you can see they can actually fold up for movement or for transport, which is what we were going for. So those are pretty nice to have on there because now you can easily get in and out. You can see that the entire thing has been primed. Is sort of a bluish grayish primer on there. It's a heavy duty outdoor primer, which was necessary for such a soft unfinished wood. And we even did a little bit of painting today, so you get a sneak peek of what the whole thing's going to look like. It is a dark short shade of green. It's just a little bit lighter than forest green. I believe it's called Emerald Temple, so that's fun. But that is the stage we're at. We'll pick it up. I'll probably, next clip will be just, once it's all done getting painted. Oh yeah, we also put a door on the back, so that'll be the chicken door where they can come and go from. So that is where the project is at right now. And there we have it. I kept forgetting to do this. This has been a work in progress over the last week and a half or so, but the entire outside is primed and painted. So there is a real thick, solid coat of exterior primer on this, which was necessary for the unfinished wood. And then over top of it, we have that nice dark green color. My sister and her husband did the vast majority of this painting here. I helped a little bit with a chunk of it, but I think it looks pretty solid. And now we're entirely done with the outside and ready to move on to the inside and get the insulation done, the interior walls done, roosts and nests up, and then it's ready for the birds. So that's where we're at. And a quick look inside. It's now been fully insulated. You can see that it's in the rough stages, or a rough state, I should say. Every single thing is full of insulation. First thing that was used was all of the leftover insulation that we had from other projects that was put in bits and pieces, which you can see from some of these windows. And then of course we have the much newer, nicer looking insulation panels that went in from the new stuff that was purchased. But the next step will be putting wood on the walls. So let me just back up and try to give you a full picture of what that looks like when we just magically get all of the walls done. Ooh, and there we go. So all wrapped up as far as interior walls go. So you can see we've got pretty much solid tamarack. There's a couple pine boards, but it's almost entirely tamarack for the entire interior wall. So looking good. About ready to live in, I guess, if it weren't a birdhouse. But now we just have to get to work on getting the roosts put together on this wall, the nests put up on this wall. You can see we've already got our door out there, and we have a door for the outside, and we need a little ramp for the chickens, but that is it. We are literally almost done. We're getting so close, I can almost taste it. All right, and it's officially finished, so we're going to do one final approach. Start from the front because that's the side with the most going on, and we'll just take a look and see what we've got. So you can see our fold-up stairs, which work oh so nicely. The door, which opens and closes. And the inside, so you can see we've managed to get the roosts done. Just 2 tiers for now. We left room to put on more tiers, but they're spaced 12 inches apart because that's the recommendation. You can see that the other side there are currently only 6 nesting boxes, but again there is room to put more boxes. Clear access to the door and a window on either side, so that airflow can be assured whenever it is wanted. So let's take one look at the outside and that'll be it. One final view around the outside, just for that final transformation shot. So if you remember what we looked like at the beginning, and maybe I'll put a picture up on screen, I think we've come a very long way. Backside, you can see there's a ramp with steps, and that just slides right inside our door, which slides up and down, and can be removed entirely for cleaning and other maintenance type purposes. But yeah, that is a mobile chicken coop. So hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was entertaining to come along the journey. But that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.